Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. Gotta excuse me, man. Voice hasn't quite come back from shouting and cheering them kids on during the soccer practice yesterday. I coach 7 and 8 year olds. My son is on the team, and we just have fun at practice. I put it to you that way. Boom! Amazing fight card taking place on 12 July in New York City. You got Berlanga against Shiraz, Stevenson against Zepeda, Pollo against Matias, then David Morrell against Imam Katev. Listen, let's understand a few things here. First of all, make sure y'all like and subscribe. Become a member to the channel. Follow me on Twitter. Follow me on Instagram. And leave that donation for that fried rice and chicken wings. Look, man. Edgar Berlanga and Shiraz, like, yo, that's a real fight. That's a serious, serious fight. The thing with this fight, you really don't know who's going to win. Because Berlanga and Shiraz, if someone's letting their hands go against them, the punch output diminishes. But if they're having to weigh in the round, their punch out would be could get up to 45 to 55 punches a round. But when they're not getting away, it drops down into the 20s. You saw that when Berlanga fought Canelo. You know, Berlanga's punch in some rounds was very low. Other rounds, he got it up there into the 40s. But Canelo had Berlanga frozen. It's like Berlanga was afraid to let his hands go. So, to me, Berlanga just, wanted to be able to brag about getting to the finish line. Never really took any risk. With Hamza Shiraz, when he faced Carlos Adames recently, a lot of people felt, after watching that fight, that Hamza Shiraz was a hype job. He's not a hype job. The problem is, Carlos Adames is the real deal, okay? But that being said, Hamza Shiraz, when he faced Ammo Williams was throwing a lot of punches. He hurt Shiraz early in that fight. So Shiraz's punch output wasn't that high. But as the fight progressed, Shiraz's punch output started to increase. And then Hamza Shiraz was able to get the stoppage against Williams. But against Adames, he just wasn't able to really get the kind of punch output that he needed, deliver the kind of punch output that he needed to really gain any momentum. A little bit of Secret Society was in full EFFECT, which allowed Hamza Shiraz to escape that fight without a loss, which to me was an injustice to Adames. That being said, Berlanga and Shiraz, both about the same height, both got long arms. Shiraz can crack, Berlanga can crack, but we're going to see just how special Berlanga is. Because I think in this fight, if there's a fighter who's not going to let his hands go, it's going to be Berlanga. He's going to be looking for the one-hitter quitter where he just may not fight against Shiraz. Plus, they're fighting in New York. So Berlanga going to come in there probably a bunch of jewelry, bunch of fancy clothes, have his son there decorated like a Christmas tree. He's going to come in there with the whole goddamn New York with him, his big posse, and it could be his downfall because he's distracted instead of focusing on the very dangerous and lively Hamza Shiraz. 50-50 fight. I don't know who to pick in that fight. But if I had to pick, I may pick Shiraz for the upset, even though I like Berlanga. I just don't like the fight being in New York because Berlanga, he just looks like he's a bit immature. And I can see him come out there taking it to the stupid. Now, Shakur, Stevenson, and Zepeda, very interesting. Now, Shakur has a couple fights with Eddie Hearn. It was contracted for. He was supposed to fight, goddamn, what was the name of the guy he was supposed to fight? Let's see if I got it up here. I can't remember his name. But anyway, Shakur ended up getting an injury to his hand. And then he ended up not Conlon. Anyway, I can't remember who the hell it was. But he ended up getting an injury to his hand, and he didn't take the fight. Then he ended up going and fighting the guy Padley. Now he's fighting Zepeda, but Eddie Hearn's not involved in that fight. It's going to be Lou DiBella, which I think is a little bit weird, but it seems like Shakur and Eddie Hearn have some kind of arrangement where they have a 2-fight deal, but it doesn't mean it's back to back. So Shakur can fight one with Eddie for a flat rate, which is what he did. And he's taking his next fight, and it happens to be against Zepeda, and he's not doing it with Eddie. He's doing it with Lou DiBella. And I don't know what Shakur's getting paid, but I have a feeling he's going to make more money with DiBella in the Zepeda fight than he would with Eddie Hearn. But after Shakur gets through the Zepeda fight, he has one fight left with Eddie Hearn. So no trouble in paradise. It's just the way Shakur Stevenson worked his contract. Some say it's smart, some say it's not, but I think those who are being negative about Shakur Stevenson's contractual arrangements with Eddie Hearn is because they really don't understand what the hell's going on. But that being said, Shakur Stevenson and Zepeda, let me tell you, this is a tough fight, man. I don't see how anyone could come out here and say, this is an easy fight for Shakur. He's going to walk through Zepeda. Y'all crazy? Y'all crazy, man? This shit could be Broner Maidana. If I'm being honest with you. But a tough fight. A tough fight. You see, the thing is, people talk about what Shakur Stevenson's fighting for. He didn't get the gold medal that it felt he should have been awarded. He's fighting to prove to people that he's a true champion. And the one thing that I think is a problem for Shakur, he's making the mistake Devin Haney made, which is he wants to prove to the fans that he has power. You can't come into a fight with Zepeda and all of a sudden want to prove that you have power. Hey, yo, hold your horses. Let's not take it to the stupid. All of a sudden, you have an epiphany, and you coming in the ring and you want to be funny about how you do business, and now you want to knock people out and shit. Zepeda is not the guy for you to be in there trying to ting on. You don't get in there and start tinging and tinging. You may get your ass knocked out. Zepeda's story is interesting. Dad, fisherman, pops passed away doing what he loves. Zepeda living with family members. Y'all gotta read up on that dude's story. He ain't fighting to prove that he has power. That dude fighting with a lot of hurt and a lot of grief. Y'all better read up on Zepeda, man. Anyway, good fight. I just think it comes down to Shakur, his accuracy, his ability to counterpunch, control the distance, and if he can effectively implement that and impose his style on the very busy Zepeda. But I just think Shakur Stevenson, I think he loses the fight. I understand him being the favorite. I think he loses that shit. Because I don't like the fact that he's talking about trying to prove he got power. You saw him fight the kid Padley, man. Oh, the kid who's the electrician was hanging up there around a goddamn light pole, changing goddamn lights and messing with circuit boards. They gave him a call, hey, climb your ass down, be out here in 2 days and fight Shakur Stevenson. Jumps, slides down the pole, drops the tool belt, hops on a plane, lands in Saudi, and has more success in that fight than people expected. What's Zepeda gonna do? Y'all better listen and pay attention. Shakur Stevenson is a great fighter. He ain't as nice as they trying to make, like he tried to make it out to be. And I don't want to hear that, oh, well, you get in the ring with him and let's see how you do. How about you get in the ring with me, Bozo McNicholas? Let's see how you do. Get out of here with that nonsense. Because, hood champion, not nice. I don't fight nice. You may get some bang, 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 bam, 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 lock, 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 lock. Grrr. You better leave Hood Champion alone, man. Let me drink my coffee and coach the kids. You don't want that. Anyway, good fight. I think Shakir's gonna lose. Only because he talking too much about the power shit. I just don't understand why you get in a fight, the most important fight of your career, and now all of a sudden you want to prove to the boxing fans that you have power. That shit ain't gonna work against Zepeda. I tell you that right now. And what Tevin Farmer was able to do, that don't mean Shakir's gonna be able to do it. So let's just be real. Now, Puello and Matias. This may be the fight of the night. The Puerto Rican versus the Dominican. The Ekin versus the Ekin. Let me tell you something. There's going to be some serious arroz con pollo getting bubbled up out there, man. Some serious platanos getting fried up out there. There's going to be some good food getting cooked that weekend in them goddamn Puerto Rican and Dominican households as they get ready to watch their fellow countrymen get in the ring and get busy. But I think Puello, man, if Matias can't get to him, I think Puello boxes to a decision. But after round 4 and 5, if Matias lets his hands go and doesn't make the mistake he made against Paro, shit can get real interesting in that ring because Matias is a monster. He's a beast. But it could be where, Puello's able to control him and tame the beast with that jab and that right hand. Anyway, we got to wait and see how that fight plays out. But that is a very good fight. 2 high-volume punchers who get busy. But that's another one that's a toss-up, kind of favoring Puello, but wouldn't be surprised if Matias came on later and stopped him. Morrell and Katiev. Katiev only has 10 fights. I see not a lot of people know much about Katiev, and they're out here basically saying that this is a cherry pick for David Morrell. I don't know if I agree with that, but I will say this. This right here is Katiev. 10 fights, 9 KOs, 90% KO ratio, fighting out of Australia. The thing that jumped out to me is that he's about 5'10". And when you look at who he's fought, his fights, you're not going to recognize any of these people. Okay? He's been fighting out there in Australia and Canada. But Morrell should be able to get him. But you just never know. These guys who are from these countries, like originally from Russia and stuff like that, them guys are tough and they can fight. So I'm not going to count them out. But if Morrell stays smart, fights tall with his jab, he's got a big time reach advantage, like 6-7 inches. Then Morrell should be able to just outpoint him and outbox him and get a decision victory. Anyway, this fight card is no joke. The Morrell Katiev, that's the one not many people know much about Katiev, so they're going to favor Morrell, but don't sleep on them Russians. Puello Matias, that shit is a 50-50 fight, but I favor Puello if he can outbox him. But if Matias can catch up to him, that's all Matias. Stevenson, Zepeda, I kind of think Zepeda going to beat him. That's just me. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I don't care. I just don't see how Shakur, wanting to prove he's got power and throwing pop shots, is going to, slow down Zepeda. Berlanga Shiraz, that's a hard fight to call. But if Berlanga's trying to show out and be flamboyant again and worry about looking good outside the ring instead of looking good in the ring, he going to lose to Shiraz. Y'all keep cool. I need to get me some tea with some honey in it, man. This shit is annoying. I hate the fact that I lost my voice. Y'all keep cool. Yeah, I'm in the breeze.